What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to episode number 2. Hopefully, first of all, you guys enjoyed episode number 1. If you haven't got the chance to listen to it, after you get done with this one, you can jump back in time and listen to our first episode, which was last week. Myself and Vang, our co-host, had a great time doing that one last week. I really enjoyed it, and I've been really looking forward to doing it this week. So thank you guys again for tuning back in. It means a lot to me. If you're not following us on Instagram or Facebook, go ahead and check me out at Flying V Outdoors. You can also find me on TikTok. I am on there. And the main thing is the YouTube channel, Flying V Outdoors. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead to YouTube, type in Flying V Outdoors, hit that subscribe button, and look at our most recent video, okay? I will leave a link to it in the video that's going to get posted to YouTube with this podcast. But head over there, get entered in our giveaway. We're giving away a Drake Swamp Soul backpack, a Drake gun case. We're giving away some Flying V hats, t-shirts, stickers. It's going to be pretty sweet. And all you have to do to get entered in that giveaway is hit that subscribe button and drop a comment on that video. Now, what's going on, Mr. Vang?
What's up, my man?
How have you been? How was your week, buddy?
It was good. I got some things done, like replacing carpet. That was interesting. Learned how to do that. Yeah, but it went by actually. How about you?
It's been good since we last talked.
Yeah.
I guess it's been busy. Same old stuff, really. Work, training, eating, sleeping. That's about it. So
Yeah.
I don't have any cool war stories to really tell since last week when we talked.
Aren't you coming up on a test soon, or is it not yet?
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay.
We're running that finish test
Right.
in Arkansas, and yeah, we've been trying to get ready for that. That's a little nerve-wracking, but we also are on a wait list for 2 weeks out. In 2 weeks, we're supposed to be going up to Searcy, Arkansas to a Freddie King seminar for Friday and Saturday. And I'm excited about that. But we're also on the wait list for West Mississippi HRC or West Missouri HRC. One of those two to run finished as well. So if we get into that, we're not going to Searcy. But
Nice.
yeah, so it's hit or miss. I
Yeah.
don't know. But regardless, we are signed up for sure, and our dues are paid to run at Four States HRC in Arkansas, May 22nd, 23rd. So, yeah, we've been getting ready for that. I just ordered my third winger. It should be here this week. I ordered another Doe Creek winger. Anyone listening to the podcast, if you guys didn't see my review on that Doe Creek winger and you're here for training and stuff, go check them out. Very affordable, support a small business, and save yourself some money. They're really high quality and solid. Obviously, they're good enough that I ordered myself a third. So, I mean, that should say enough on its own.
Oh yeah. Now you're talking about your giveaways. How do I get myself one of them hats if I don't get a giveaway, or if I don't get drawn?
They're not open to the public right now.
Okay.
Actually, the only way for everyone listening to get your hands on Flying V hats, shirts, anything like that is through the giveaway. That is the only way. You'll be the first follower to have some Flying V merch. So that's even better reason to go ahead and get entered to that giveaway if you haven't already.
I forgot I did drop a comment in there, so let me do that real quick.
Yeah, you probably should, because I don't know if you actually subscribe or not. You may or you may not. I don't know.
Hold on here. All right.
But for all our listeners, today our main topic, just give you guys kind of some foresight of what we're going to be talking about. Me and Bang, we're going to take turns talking about our favorite hunts of the 2020-2021 duck seasons.
Yes.
In our respective areas. So he's up north.
Wait, is it
Minnesota.
just duck or just our hunting season?
Just your hunting season.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
Mine's a duck hunt, obviously, so that's why I said duck season. But and mine's going to be in Louisiana, so it'll be it should be interesting. I'm excited. Neither of us know what the other one is going to talk about, so I'm at
Yes.
least excited to hear what Banks is, and I'm sure he's excited to hear what mine is. Maybe not,
All
but
right, go for it.
I guess I'm taking the lead. So overall, first of all, I just want to say the 2020-2021 duck season um, was quite the disappointment. So my
Uh-oh.
options for great hunts, the best hunt, it's not a very hard choice because there weren't that many great hunts to choose from. Uh, and anyone who follows the channel could probably see my sadness in all of our videos because it just was a terrible season. But my favorite hunt was hands down. Uh, it was a Monday morning. We got on Sunday night. We got snow here in Louisiana, which is the first time I'd actually seen snow in like 3 years. Uh, and we got a nice little layer of snow, so a big cold front. Um, so of course, like I had high hopes already. It's like a huge cold front is coming through. There's going to be some birds, hopefully some fresh birds coming into the area. Um, Everyone had to work. Like I said, it was a Monday morning, so I was going out by myself. It was just me and Boon. Had my kayak and my dog, and that was it. So we got to the lake. We were on the little lake. We got there about 5:30 or so, and there was two other groups of people there. There was one other dude who was in a kayak by himself, and then there was two dudes getting in this like jaunt boat type deal. Uh, and it's a decent sized lake, but three groups of people hunting on it is kind of crowded, if that
It's
makes
it's
sense.
definitely a crowd.
Yeah, but the good thing about it is, every time I've hunted there and I was the only person there, I was in the wrong spot. It didn't matter. The birds would just ignore me and they'd go sit down on the other side. So having the three people there helped keep the birds moving. But we paddled out there. That was actually the first hunt that Boone had been in the kayak. He'd only been in the kayak like 2 times before that as a puppy. So I was very nervous about that, especially with it being in the dark with a full kayak. And it was like a half-mile paddle. So it wasn't terrible, but still. I was a little nervous. He did great. He just sat there and stared at the alligators. But so we paddled out and got set up, and I brought his dog blind, and we got them all set up, and we were just sit there, and it was a nice, calm, cold morning. It was the best part about it really was how cold it was. I mean, we were in the snow. It was you could tell it was going to be a beautiful day, and it was like 15 degrees. Uh, so it felt like home to me, uh, which I really enjoyed. But shooting light came around, um, and the dude who was hunting about 400 yards to the right of me, he was back in a little timber cut. He ripped off three shots like right at shooting light, and I couldn't see all the way down there, but you could hear birds kind of fly in that direction. And right after shooting light, he shot. The dudes on the other end of the lake shot. I was like, damn, man, like I must be the only one in a bad spot. But sure enough, like 2 minutes later, the birds started flying around. Um, so my first bird, I got a passing shot on a stud Drake Gadwall, and it was about a 65-yard retrieve for Boone, um, right in the dark, which he went and got it. So right off the bat, like two
Nice.
minutes in, had our first bird on the board. So obviously, I was excited about that. And Boone had a really great retrieve. The rest of the hunt slowly went on. Um, there were a few shots I didn't take early in the morning, but I was out there until I'd say about 11 o'clock that day. Um, and when it's just me in a kayak, one, it's peaceful. Nothing against any of my hunting friends, because I hunt with plenty of different guys. So if you guys are listening, nothing against you. I enjoy hunting with my buddies. Like I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but there's just something about being out there by yourself um, that is unmatchable. Like it's just I don't know. It's like man versus wild. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're back in your natural state. Like that is as primitive as you can get. Uh, and it was just that enjoyable enough. To top it off, I was not alone. I was with Boon, which it was his first season. It was a terrible season, so he hadn't got a lot of retrieves yet, and I had high hopes. And as the day went on, groups of gadwall kept working in, and groups of widgeon kept working in. So I ended the day with a limit. I think I shot. I have a video, so you guys can fact check me. I did make a video of this hunt, but I think I shot 3 widgeon and 3 gadwall.
It's always exciting.
I may be wrong, but it was fun. A lot of them were like, I think 3 of the 6 birds were water swats. But they were working. I mean, I was working birds. I was laying down in the kayak line. Boon was hidden, and we were working birds. So it was really fun. But that's also the hunt where I lost my new phone. I bought an iPhone 12, and I had it for no more than 2 weeks. Dropped it in the lake. So that was awesome. And that's also the hunt where I fell in to the lake. So,
So I remember that video.
yeah. So yeah, I'm sure you remember the video that's literally captioned, "I fell in the lake kayak duck hunting." It was fun, but the whole part like falling in the lake, that was miserable. What had happened was the last bird I shot, I sent Boone on. I was frustrated because it'd been like an hour and a half since we got any birds. And I had one group come in and I completely whiffed on him. And then I shot that one. He splashed. I sent Boone to get it. He wasn't running blinds at the time, so he didn't mark it good. So I shot again in that direction to try and kind of get him to go that way. Sent him again. And he just didn't want to, like, I don't know what his deal was, but he wouldn't go. He was just acting stupid. So I was pissed off. So I got out of my kayak, and I think that's when I dropped my phone in the lake, was when I got out of my kayak, because the water's only like 3 feet deep or so. And I think it was in my lap. I think when I pulled myself out of my kayak, I actually dropped my phone in the lake. And I started walking over there to him. And I think it's because I think I got struck down by God, because I was so pissed off and I was being such a dick to him that I think God was just like, you know what, I need to check this guy real quick. And I don't know what it was, but I slowly started falling forward, and it was like slow motion. And I don't know if you've ever fallen
Yes.
when you're waist deep in cold water, but like you're kind of helpless. Like there's nothing you can do. It's too deep to put your hands down. Normally if you fall like in shallower water, you land on your knees. At least that's what I do. Like I just drop to my knees if I trip, and you don't fill up, and you catch yourself on your knees. It was too deep for that, so I was just like slowly like trying to regain my balance, like falling forward, and it didn't work. And then just straight face into the water, filled my wader. So, and if you watch the video, like you'll hear me like gasping because I get
Yeah,
freezing cold
I heard that.
water, and you're just like I sound so fucking stupid, but I went ahead and published it anyway because I feel like it added to the dramatic effect. But so I walked back over to the bank and climbed up on the bank and pulled my jacket off, which was soaked. Pulled off all my base layers, which were soaked. Took my waders off, dumped them out. I was basically just standing on the bank in my underwear, just freezing cold. Uh, and I was still pissed off because that freaking duck was still just sitting out there in the water and still didn't get it. So it was a good experience. So I kind of dried off the best I could, put my wet clothes back on, got back in my kayak, paddled out there, picked up my duck, paddled back, and I was sitting there trying to get some hot hams fired up to kind of warm myself up a little bit. And that's when I looked down at my watch, like my Apple Watch, and I realized it said my phone was disconnected from the watch. And that's when like I had this like oh fuck moment of like my phone's disconnected. Where the fuck is it? So like I run back over to the bank, looked all over the bank, couldn't find it on the bank, and then it really like set in like it's in the lake. Like so then I was like walking around kicking the like muck and shit trying to find my phone. I couldn't find my phone, and then I just gave up. It's like whatever. Um, And the fun story about that, this is irrelevant, but I went to Best Buy and I bought that phone outright from Best Buy and activated it on my like phone plan. It was like fucking $1,100. I didn't buy Apple Care with like theft and loss. I didn't buy insurance on it, nothing. So like just straight dropped all that money into the lake. But yeah, I will always remember that hunt. Uh, and it was one of my best hunts of the year. So
So before duck season started, my uncle asked me, can your dog retrieve?" I said, "Yes." And they said, "Can she do blinds?" I said, "No." Word of advice: if your dog can't do blinds, bring rocks. Stuff your bags with rocks and throw it that way. Did Boone ever end up retrieving that last one?
no, I paddled out there and got it. I mean, that's why like I was in my kayak.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't go get it, I can get it. I really don't need a dog when I'm hunting out of a kayak, but
Yeah, but it's convenient.
it was heartbreaking.
But yeah,
So let's hear.
next time
Let's
bring some
let's hear.
rocks.
I
Word
would
of
have
advice.
just dropped them all in the lake and been pissed off. So, what's your favorite hunt, man? What was your best hunt of
Okay.
2020?
Okay, my best hunt of 2020. Now, keep in mind, I do focus on upland more, and I'm going to talk about upland. My favorite hunt was when Nita actually locked point on her own, and I watched her, or I witnessed her doing it right next to me while we walked, like, while there's a pheasant 10 feet away from me. So I can't tell you if it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. It's just a regular day to go hunt, and I was walking a field, and we had just got there, and my uncle was like, "Hey, look, this is my hot spot. I'm not gonna tell you I'm not gonna let you tell anyone else." Which, that's all hunting people there and their talks. But anyway, we go to his hot spot, and he's like, "All right, there's definitely birds here. I know there's. So be ready." I'm like, "Okay, sure, whatever." And then he's like, "Usually we walk a line if we have a lot of people, but it was just me and him, and so we split the field and we went our own ways. And I'm walking next to my dog Nita, and we're about maybe 50 yards in already, and she's like walking. All of a sudden, she like I don't know. Have you ever seen a dog point like just lock on naturally without training or anything like that?
No, not. I mean,
Okay.
like not actually like in a hunting situation.
Okay. Yeah.
My
Well.
dumbass dog points at everything that walks by and like leaves blowing.
Okay. Well, like we were walking next to each other. I'm just like in my head, I'm like, wow, really hope there's a bird here. And she just walks, and all of a sudden she stops, turns her head to the left, lifts one leg up, and like tails out pointed and everything. Like the dog's in a pointing position to my left. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking down, trying to find it, and there's a hen. So obviously we can't shoot it. It's a hen pheasant right there. I'm like, damn, that was awesome. That's like that was the best thing I've ever seen her do naturally by herself without me like forcing her. So then she locked point on the hen. I was like, okay, no bird because you can't shoot them. So I just let it go and chase it and let it fly away. I'd call her back. The next thing we know, two other hens, or one rooster, one hen flies. I locked on the rooster and I shot him down. She retrieved it, and that was my happiest moment of hunting for 2020. It's simple and easy, but the way she produced the birds for me, I knew she was going to be a really good upland dog.
So that was your
that,
proud
that,
dad
that, that,
moment.
that was a proud dad moment there. And that was like my best hunting moment. I mean, of course, like our opener here was very fun and for duck and pheasant, but a great hunting session there for me was that one experience.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to sound like negative or like I had a terrible time this year. Like I had a blast during
Yeah.
hunting season. I do every year. It doesn't matter how good or bad it is, because I have a love for the sport. but
Right.
it's nice to kill ducks. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
It's just really enjoyable.
Yeah.
But we had some highs and lows. I mean, we had the tope line that we built that we got to hunt out of. We had like one good hunt out of it, maybe. Um, that was fun. That was exciting. We got to hunt some new places. I hunted with some people that I did hunt with last year. Overall, I had a good time, and I got to take Boone every day, which really he was the only reason I hunted as many days this year as I did, and
Yeah.
I only made like 4 or 5 videos, I think, but I hunted over 50% of the days the season was open. I think my total count was like 42 of 60. So I hunted a lot. It was just very poor. A lot of the good hunts we did go on, as far as like video making goes, I didn't get the chance to make videos, or like I just didn't have enough good footage. I don't want to put out like shitty videos, so I didn't have enough like decent footage to make a video. Or I just didn't record. There were a lot of hunts where I was like, man, I just want to take this in and enjoy it. I'm not going to record it. And then, of course, that's when we have a good hunt.
Yeah.
So
I know what you
uh,
mean.
I feel like I don't know. I mean, if everyone else had a good year and I had a bad year, I would think that I was cursed at recording things. But pretty much the entire state had a shitty duck season. So
So you saw all my snaps to you about my good hunting sessions or season this year. We were killing it, by the way, up here. And I
yeah,
and I think it is just you guys down there, like in Louisiana, that had a bad year.
dude. I mean, that's a big flight.
Hmm.
That's a long trip for a duck.
And the weather and the weather was like not that cold up here until that one cold front in March that happened.
Yeah, like February.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we got that.
it was snowing. It didn't even snow or anything crazy here. So
It was
they were
a
still up here for sure.
Yeah, that was February. That's when we had the snowpocalypse in Louisiana. That was our second snow of the year, and like I was off work for 2 weeks. Like the whole city was shut down for one straight week.
Goddamn.
It was terrible. Because they don't have like snow plows or like
Right.
salt trucks or anything. Which you lived in North Carolina, like you saw that
Yeah.
shit. Like they don't
Yeah.
they don't prepare for things because it doesn't happen. So
Right.
when it does happen, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
And I actually had family visiting. Um, they got here on like Friday night, and Sunday is when it started snowing. They were
You know
supposed to fly out Wednesday, and they were stuck here till the next Wednesday. So
you know what they say? Like when you're from up north and that happens down there, they brought it with them.
yeah, I get blamed for a lot, but
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I didn't enjoy it either. Like I wasn't a fan of every business being closed for a week. Like the water, like we had no water pressure. Most of the city didn't have water. We were fortunate enough to keep power, but yeah, we were eating scraps by like day 5. We weren't prepared for that one. So because like we knew it was gonna
Those days.
snow. Yeah, we knew it was gonna snow. We just didn't think it was gonna snow. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we didn't think it was gonna be a fucking blizzard, but yeah, they tricked us. So let's not get off track here. We're gonna go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay.
I did a poll on Instagram
Okay.
sometime this week and asked some questions. So we got 2 questions we're going to talk about. And these are both dog related. The first one is from Kyle, and his question was: "My dog doesn't play well with others. What do I do to help that, or how do I help that?" Yeah.
When
So
when they say others, is it like other dogs or
I'm
like
ass-
people in general?
I'm
Or just
assuming it. I'm going to assume it's other dogs.
okay.
Um,
That's yeah.
I don't think it means other people. Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna go with other dogs. So I wish I could help you, Kyle, but I don't know. Like Boone doesn't like to play with others either. But that's never really been like a I don't know, like a problem. Like he doesn't like pick fights with them. So I guess like need more context. Like his
So
his dog's name is
Boone just doesn't
Crash.
care for them, is what you're
So
saying.
yeah, like Kyle's dog's name is Crash. So I'm gonna refer to Crash a lot. But like I don't
Okay.
know if Crash is like aggressive towards other dogs or just doesn't give a shit about them or what. Um, I'm assuming it's probably aggressiveness. Like Boone doesn't give a shit about other dogs, especially with he's only around them when we're training. And like when we're training, he literally could give a shit less about anyone or anything or any dog or that's going on besides me and the marks and the blinds. Like that's all he gives a shit about. He ignores everything else, which is a good thing.
That is a
Um,
great thing.
but when we're done, like I'll be with my friends and we'll try and get him to like play and shit. Like he just still ignores them and he'll just sit there and like wait for you to throw a bumper for him. But but then when we're at home, like if I take him out for a walk or something and we see another dog, like he'll bark at him and shit. When he was a puppy, he did have a problem of trying to like body up other dogs. Like he's full of testosterone. Uh, and, like he'll run up and like puff his chest out. Like his little mohawk will come up on his back.
That's awesome.
Uh, but he would never do anything. He'd just sit there and like sniff their butt and then walk away. So, I don't know. I'd say a lot of it I would just try and socialize. Depending on how aggressive they're being, like if they're really aggressive, like obviously be careful. Um, but if Crash just doesn't give a shit about other dogs and you want them to, then maybe
So
find
what I would say is more exposure. Um,
yeah,
I know dog owners who own more than one dog, obviously, so they're more exposed and or they even go to dog parks. So start them young if Crash is still young. If not, then they do play dates and all that stuff.
I,
Um,
I want to say Crash is older.
okay,
I don't want to quote this, but I want to say like
yeah.
2 years old.
Well, I mean, it's still young. Like exposure to other dogs, make more social, of course, obviously. That way, and then if they're being like aggressive towards other dogs, then that's when you have to step up and tell your dog that you're the boss too, instead of Crash. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, word. I
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Socialization. So if anyone's listening, they are have a young dog or are getting a young dog, socialization is like the most important thing as a puppy, and not just other dogs, but to
A lot of exposure.
everything in the entire world. Like
Yes.
take that dog everywhere, and you'll save yourself
Yes.
so many headaches. But if you didn't do that, or there's just some dogs are just naturally don't like other dogs. I mean, it is what it is. There's plenty of humans that don't like other humans. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I, I would just find a very like patient dog. Like, if you have a friend who has a dog who's got a very like high tolerance, then try and introduce them to each other and see what happens, and just keep doing it, doing it, doing it. Don't find another dog that's like shitty towards other dogs because then you're just gonna have like
Yeah.
some
Just
Michael
a big.
Vick dog fights. But
Yeah.
definitely find like a very patient dog. So hopefully you have a friend who has a cool dog. Crash is a cool dog though. I talk to Kyle a lot on Instagram, and he trains Crash. So Crash is a little
Okay.
badass. But Bandit Bill Outdoors asked, "What was the most difficult drill slash concept to teach Boone?" Um, and I've seen this question for several days now, and I still haven't thought of an answer. I've actually thought about it like every day. What am I going to answer?
I'll
Uh,
tell you what. To me, it's force fetch.
Force fetch was the hardest for you.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Because it took me so long and forever to do it.
Because you're impatient
Yes,
and
exactly. That's why
inconsistent.
I could answer it right away because I hated it.
So force fetch for me was like a breeze. I mean, it took it took a little bit of time, but
Yeah.
like we didn't run into much trouble. Hold conditioning before we started force fetch kind of annoyed me, but it wasn't hard or like difficult. It definitely wasn't the most difficult thing we've done. And then all of like our force work and like T work and everything. I'm sure you guys know I follow Freddie King's kind of training method, and it's super simple and easy. So I didn't really have any issues. I think the hardest drill slash concept was obedience for Boon.
Like healing and sitting.
Yeah,
Or
obedience. I'm sticking
ev-
with that answer.
like
That's
basic obedience.
just, well, yeah, like formal obedience. Like
Yeah.
he was, as a pup, which he still got a lot of pup in him, but as a pup, he was like so hyper and crazy and spazzy. Um, like trying to get that dog shaped into heel was like a nightmare. And I have to stay on top of him constantly. Like I have to set the bar way, way, way up high, and like literally any time we're doing anything, I have to enforce that standard all the way up there. Because like one day of just letting him do whatever the hell he wants, and he'll regress back to like 6 month old Boone. Uh,
He
I don't
looks like
know.
he heals really well, though. I mean, based off of the videos that you've been posting,
Well, yeah,
when
that's
he
what I.
retrieves right next to you automatically.
Yeah, I gotta stay on his ass. That's why.
So good on that.
Yeah. So I am consistent, but like even when we go out, like when I take him out at heel, like you're gonna heel, you're gonna sit, you're not gonna pull ahead, you're not gonna pull back, you're not going to the side. Like
Mm.
he probably hates his life, but he gets tons of fun bumpers. So those were the two questions. Hopefully they answered you. I know Kyle, we didn't answer that well, but I tried. I mean, so I'm gonna real quick. We're gonna go ahead and pull up our liveness,
Okay.
and we're gonna hit it live real quick. See if we got any questions. Check in
We'll
with
see if
everyone,
we'll see if Kyle hops on and we can
and we can
get
get some
more
more information
details.
from
Yeah.
Kyle. Yeah,
Yes.
let's do
So we
that.
can fully answer his question.
Let's do
But if he
that.
doesn't, it's okay.
Trying to figure out which way. I guess I can hold it up here next to this other camera. So for those of you guys listening to the podcast, first of all, the podcast is now on Spotify. I shared that link on everywhere, and it's going to be tagged on all of our stuff. So the link is on Spotify, or the podcast is on Spotify, and it's submitted to Apple Podcasts for review right now. So once it gets up there, I'll also post those links and let you guys know how to get to it. But right now, you can listen to it on Spotify, and you can listen to it on the RSS feed, um, as well as this one
Nice.
is being recorded, and we're going to publish the video up on YouTube, so my YouTube subscribers can see it. That way they can see that we have a podcast too, because I don't know how many of them actually see it, and we got a couple hundred of those guys, so we got someone in here. Hunter LeBlanc. What's up, Hunter? I haven't talked to Hunter in a long time, actually. Hunter has been a follower since like day one, and I haven't talked to him in a while. I don't know. He must not like me anymore.
Speaking of followers, Facebook just finally recognized me as a Flying V Outdoor top fan.
You're a top fan on
Yeah,
Facebook.
I just got a notification.
Hell yeah. Our
So,
Facebook is slacking. I don't know why, but like we don't get as much exposure on Facebook. Our Instagram does well. TikTok does well. We have the
oh yes. Speaking of TikTok, have you seen that TikTok video of like couples and their dogs, and they'll run, eat like you and Maddie will run the opposite direction and see where your dogs follow, who they follow,
I don't want to do that because I don't want to upset her, but
knowing that Memphis and Boone is coming to you.
I know which way they're going.
Yeah, no, I tried that,
But,
and my wife was just like, yeah, well, we know who needed belongs to.
yeah, but yeah. So what's going on Instagram? We are live. We're actually doing the podcast right now. Hunter, he said, let's do a call-in podcast. It's been a while. Just shoot me a message, Hunter, and we'll try and figure something out. We're actually wrapping this one up. We just hopped on here to see if you guys had any questions. Ty Collins. I think or I work with your dad. I don't know if he's talking to me or if he's talking to Hunter. But Ty works for
Okay.
someone's dad, so that's cool. Whatever. But if you work with my dad, I'm sorry. He said you, Dad. Oh, yeah, you definitely work with my dad then. He's not that bad. He's entertaining. Uh, not as entertaining as me, but he's entertaining. So, yeah, if you guys haven't, check out the podcast. This one is going to be up tonight. It's going to be on Spotify. It's going to be on our RSS feed, and the YouTube video should be up tonight as well. Of course, like always, I'll leave some links down below for you guys. But we just wrapped it up. We had a nice little conversation. We did a recap of our favorite hunts of the year. We talked about several things. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It doesn't look like we're going to have any cool questions, but
That's fine.
it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I think we've been on the horn for about 40 minutes. Our target time was 30 minutes. Our first podcast was like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
So I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate y'all on the podcast. So I'm looking at 4 different things right now. But I hope everyone has a
Thanks
good night.
for listening, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in. It was a pleasure. And we'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right.